Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Sports Extra. I'm your host Ahmed Nawaz with the latest roundup of sports today. The Pakistan Cricket Board of Governors meets tomorrow at the PCB headquarters in Lahore to elect the next chairman of the Pakistan Cricket Board for a tenure of 3 years. It's going to be interesting because finally uncertainty will settle down, the clouds will fade away, and we hope that there is a solid 3-year tenure without any lapse or without any hurdle, and whoever the chairman is gets all the time that he needs to complete his mandate, and then we see things progressing as well, because it is very necessary at the moment for the Pakistan Cricket Board to find a lot of ground, a lot of consistency, so that trickle down effect can come down to the players as well, because so far what we've seen is the team is already haywire. And I'll be honest, I've been going over the past few days talking to a couple of people who have mentioned that it's not just the cricket that we need to talk about, it's the dressing room environment, it's the camaraderie between the players that seems to be not there anymore. So that is a very serious concern. So we'll talk about that. Then we of course move on and we give you an update of the Davis Cup tie between Pakistan and India. The visiting Indian team beat Pakistan 4-0 and they've now progressed to Group 1 of the tie, and Pakistan of course were disappointing, but nonetheless I think on a positive note it was great to see the Indian side in Pakistan, and we had a lot of Indian fans cheering for Team India as well. So I think that sets the bar very high, that Pakistan is a sports loving country and we keep sports away from any kind of politics that we've seen in other parts of the world, which is India. So we hope that things improve and a very strong message goes, and even their management and the players said that they enjoyed their time in Pakistan. So we'll talk about that. Then of course we move on and we move on to more things happening in the world of cricket. First of all, the Under-19 World Cup, where the Pakistan team has now progressed into the semi-finals. They beat Bangladesh in a thriller and now they will be facing Australia on Thursday. Meanwhile, India take on host South Africa Under-19 tomorrow. So it's going to be a chance for an Indo-Pak final, I understand, but all 4 quality teams. So we'll talk about that. Then we of course move on and we tell you about the Pakistan Cricket Board. Tickets are on sale from tomorrow, the next season of 2024. Everybody's really excited, so we're going to be talking about that in detail as well. And of course, pick your teams. We've already said that, haven't we? So it's going to be interesting. Then of course we move on and we discuss some more particular things that have been happening, and I really want to talk about the fact that it's going to be very interesting how we see the T20 World Cup, because what rumors are telling us is that a lot of things are going to happen, but before that the Pakistan Cricket Board has taken a very serious stance on the NOC for leagues, and it does not change. So we'll talk about that. Then we move on to big news where Imad Wasim might be making a return to international cricket. Only time will tell. His statement have given us a lot of positivity, where he's highlighted that he might be interested if Pakistan needs him. He said he will always be available and Pakistan will always come first. And there you have it. The final chapter on today's show is that Peshawar Zalmi have unveiled their new training kit using CGI technology. And I absolutely love the graphics. I think just look at that piece of art coming out of the Arbaz Stadium in Peshawar. It's absolutely interesting. The Yellow Storm, powered by their various sponsors, are going to be taking over. So that's the training kit. Well, time now to introduce the guests. First of all, we've been joined by cricket commentator, international broadcaster, presenter, and our sports expert, Asif Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum, sir. How are you?
Walaikum Assalam, Ahmed. I'm very well, and I'm so happy that I'll get the shirt from Peshawar Zalmi. Is it okay?
Absolutely. I think all of us should be content that before the next show proceeds, we want that shirt. So that should be our hashtag, and we'll even tweet that as well. But moving on, we've also been joined by cricket expert and analyst, a regular feature of our program. We've got Mr. Sabir Hussain. Assalamu alaikum, Sabir. How are you?
Walaikum Assalam, Ahmed. I'm good. Thank you so much.
Well, you've been wearing that yellow tie for far too long now. I think you deserve that shirt now. We've also been joined by sports expert Ali Mehdi. Assalamu alaikum. How are you, Ali?
Walaikum Assalam. I'm very well.
Great to have you as well. Now, the first order of business is tomorrow's Board of Governors meeting. And Asif, I think all eyes are going to be on PCB. The fact is we can talk about all cricket, all the form, all the training, everything we want to, any form of cricket. But the first order of business is that right now it is a very critical juncture at PCB, and consistency and stability is needed.
Well, this is the question mark, the consistency and sustainability. How the Pakistan Cricket Board, the rest of the members, how they will gonna decide that who will be the next chairman of Pakistan Cricket Board. And I think that, of course, Mohsen Naqvi is a very strong candidate for this position. Now, the question mark, this is what we had discussed earlier, that what kind of challenges he's going to face. Of course, domestic structure, of course, the Pakistan Super League, and then the test team of the Pakistan, why they're struggling. These are, and of course, the school cricket. That is the root cause, and that we are not producing good cricketers just because of the destruction of school cricket and club cricket as well. I think lots of responsibility will be on the upcoming chairman. Of course, that would be Mohsen Naqvi. If you see his, his experience, yes, he remained chief minister before this, and he is CEO of a media group as well. But I think if we talk about specifically for this job, people are talking about his abilities. Yes, he's a good administrator, and we require good administrator with a good planner as well.
But Asif, so that's interesting. Please excuse me for cutting you, but I want you to highlight it for all our cricket fans, especially the young cricket fans on social media who always raise this question. The fact is that all around the world, the cricket board is headed by good administrators. It is not necessary that it is a person who has a cricketing background.
Well, if I ask you this question, if I ask to our youngsters that who is the chairman of cricket board of South Africa, nobody knows. Who is the chairman of cricket board of the Australia? Nobody knows, because their teams are performing so well. Same with the New Zealand. So I think, yes, it's a good thing. It's not necessarily that the chairman cricket board should be an ex-cricketer. Yes, in past we had this experiences. Let's talk about Ramiz Raja. He remained the chairman of Pakistan cricket board, but even then, on his tenure, Pakistan team was struggling. The domestic structure was struggling. International sides were coming to Pakistan, and we didn't have good pitches. So these all challenges, I think that if we get a good administrator, even like if you talk about the, Najam Sethi, he performed well. He did a really good job for, to bringing international cricket back. And then now we had...
Right. Absolutely. I certainly see the bar being drawn very high, because whoever comes to chairman has a lot of work. And I understand that that's why we say that whoever comes needs at least his complete mandate. Look, I'll be very honest that you give him 3 years and you let him make the, calls, whether you think they're right, whether they're wrong. Constructive criticism with respect, the way it should be professionally, is a need of the hour. Yes.
Well, a slight thing that even the chairman of Pakistan, ex-chairman of Pakistan Cricket Board, Ramiz Raja, he said in front of media that I will not accept the criticism from the media. So I think, yes, the positive criticism is really important.
Absolutely. Positive criticism, but right after a short break, stay tuned to Sports Extra. And welcome back. Now, of course, like I said, that, interestingly, things are moving in a positive direction in the past couple of days. We're not used to that in a World Cup here. So, Sabir, whatever the decision is tomorrow in the Board of Governors, all of us collectively should be very positive, because, like I said, the most important thing, it's a World Cup year once again.
It is, it is very important, for all cricketing fans in Pakistan, all around the world as well, because everybody knows, the Pakistan is a wonderful cricketing nation. Obviously, if Mohsen Naqvi, will be selected, as a new chairman of PCB, I totally agree with, Ahmad, that yes, administration skills are very important, to run the show, especially to run such an organization. PCB, Board of Governors are obviously very important. But like I mentioned last week as well, if you have a good administrator like PCB chairman, then he basically has to have some kind of advisory team who are basically, then you can have some kind of ex-cricketers, who can advise you better. and obviously different challenges will be ahead as far as the new chairman is concerned. First of all, I think the priority should be he basically needs to find out the solutions to improve your cricketing domestic circuit inside, and then you have a Champions Trophy. The first goal for the new chairman basically is to have a Champions Trophy. You have to basically correct all the things. I mean, as far as stadiums are concerned, pitches are concerned, social media, all the kind of things. Then the second priority will be to have a good relationship as far as the cricketing boards are concerned. South Africa, Australia, England as well, neighbors like Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, obviously India as well. Then first of all, I think he needs to basically correct your in-house. I think Champions Trophy is the main priority, obviously. Then he will be having a complete kind of a 3 years. He will be having a proper directions as well. He will be having a lots of time, to basically to plan properly, and then implementation, execution is very important. And for these kind of implementations and executions, you need to have a better team, because alone you cannot do. If you have administration good skills, I mean, then you have to have some kind of a good team. Then you can achieve your goals as well. So I mean, Champions Trophy is a huge kind of I would say a plan for Pakistan, because obviously 2025 a big achievement for Pakistan, because Pakistan is selected by the ICC to basically to host Champions Trophy. But number of teams will be touring Pakistan. Bilateral series are important for Pakistan, but hosting a Champions Trophy like a mini World Cup is very important for Pakistan. Obviously a big challenge for new chairman.
These are some of the challenges, and I think very pertinently and correctly put by Sabir Hussain, that infrastructure development, reforming your domestic circuit, World Cup at hand, especially the Champions Trophy, all of these are going to be very important tasks, including the fact that how you're going to manage players for leagues as well, including what the new chairman, I would personally would like to see is that also that we tame down on the leagues being played inside Pakistan as well. That is also very important, that as far as the revenue is concerned, as far as the focus of cricketers is concerned, you need to be very picky in which kind of leagues you're having in your own country as well. So I think that is very, very important, because the sanctity of players is also something at stake as well. And I'll mention this later on why I mean this. Ali Mehdi, how important, first of all, is consistency at PCB? And like I said, the imperative thing over here is that we're in a World Cup year.
Look, the most important thing is that consistency is the most important thing, and you need a long tenure. Look, Ahmed, for the past 5 years, whoever has become chairman has not been given a full mandate. There's been a lot of maneuvering, involvement, outside involvement, and because of that, we can see that because of those reasons, it's affected the cricket team, and we can see that on field, it's affected the players quite a bit. And the fact of the matter over here is what has happened is important. What has happened over the past 5 years, you have to learn from your mistakes over here. What has happened over the 5 years has actually caused a lot of damage for the image of cricket for the PCB, because the thing is, despite this all what has happened, and you could say the merry-go-round when it comes to the chairmans, the infrastructure, everything like that, because of that we've become a bit of a laughing stock. So we have to change that, and whatever PCB chairman is elected tomorrow by the Board of Governors, he has to be given a full mandate, as you mentioned too. He has to be given a long run, and there shouldn't be any sort of involvement, should it be political or anything for that matter, shouldn't be over there, because you have to give him full, you have to give, it has to be a sort of a body which allows him to actually run a full tenure and let him actually focus on everything cricket related. Should it be grassroots cricket, the international team, the women's team? I think women's team is actually an area which really needs to be worked on, and there has to be consistency, because you could see that the women's team has actually really come of age over the past few years too. So I think for most important thing is whoever is actually given the mandate from tomorrow, who's ever given that role of PCB chairman, should be given a full mandate, and there shouldn't be any sort of involvement from the outside.
I mean, somebody said it the other day, I think it was Asif, who said that the women's team is doing better than the men's cricket team at the moment. Rizwan Bhai said this, actually, thank you. So I think that's true, because there is consistency there as far as the team is concerned. But then again, they have infrastructure problem of their own, where I still think that they need to be given a larger share of revenue from the PCB. Yeah. I understand they're not bringing you results, they might not bring in sponsors, but the fact is that if you don't invest and give security to these young girls, As a parent, I can tell you, you need a very solid foundation to send your girls to a sport which is not that popular in our part of the world. So I think that is very, very important that we see that happening as well. And also, Ali Mehdi, the fact is that you are witness of other cricketing nations as well. You've toured many of them. And we see a lot of consistency over there because of the fact, like Asif mentioned, that there is a good administrator at the helm of affairs.
Look, whatever you say about administrators all around the world, you talk about the BCCI, we can say whatever that we want about the BCC chairman, administrator, even the Asian Cricket Council who recently elected the Jay Shah, you can say whatever, but at the end of the day, they are administratively, they're doing extremely well. You talk about a 5-test match series which is happening between England and India, incident free over there, good cricket being played. You talk about in Cricket Australia, Nick Hockley, I think, has done an amazing job over there, helping his team, giving everything, giving full player power over there, giving the helm of affairs has been given to Pat Cummins. What has he achieved over there? He's become world champions in the ODI format and in the tenure also test champions. So everything is working very smoothly. But the important thing is over here that, these are role models or these are examples which have to be followed by the PCB. And, when your neighbors and then all these other countries are doing extremely well, you have to do the same too. And one more thing I have to say is that, we mentioned it, and both my fellow colleagues also mentioned it, is that, when when a new chairman comes, he has to take one thing into real consideration, and that is the NOCs and the workload management, because workload management is something which is really affecting our players. These leagues, yes, I think it's very important that they actually stamp down and clamp down the number of leagues which are being played right now.
We're gonna come to that topic, and I think what we need to do is be very, very categorical on picking sides over here. Either you're for workload management or either you don't believe in it. And I'll be very honest, I can be wrong. I don't mind if somebody corrects me. I think you're always learning. That's how life is.
Yeah.
I don't believe in the concept of workload management anymore. The way I've seen Jasprit Bumrah bowling on those dead pitches, I mean, this is how you play test cricket. You put in that metal. At the end of the day, India being known for dusty tracks and spinners taking most of the wickets, Bumrah's picked up figures of 9 wickets in a match. I think it is already, and Asif Asif, you've seen international cricket more than any one of us. You've commentated, you've been on the pitch side as well, you've done presentation ceremonies from Afghanistan, from UAE, you've covered cricket all around. You've met a lot of international players. It has to be the individual's focus of what they want to do. In the past, I mentioned the example the other day as well, we had cricketers who had no luxury of having world-class facilities probably. Initially, when you hear stories of Wasim Akram, Waqar Yunus, everybody, how they made their way into international cricket, some of them were even barefooted when they made that journey. Someone took public buses. I mean, they knew one thing, that they wanted to play for Pakistan. So it has to be the individual's effort.
Well, I think nobody will disagree with you. This is the very simple thing that if personally I'm not interested to play test cricket and the rest of the nation is pushing me, yes, you should play. I think this would happen with the Mohammad Ahmed. He was interested to play only T20 and he has limitized his career towards only shorter format. And now once again, as you said in your intro, that the rumors are coming, Imad Wasim, and might be, let me add something, that Mohammad Ahmed is coming back to the Pakistan team. It only happens in Pakistan, and you can expect anything from the Pakistani cricketers. Individual efforts are really, really important, Ahmed, and if players aren't interested to play test cricket, let's talk about our skipper, Shaheen Shah Afridi. I still feel really sorry and shameful this is, that he said that I'm not playing the third test. Dear, you have only 5-6 tests in the entire year. And even then, if you're not playing the third one, even you know that your team is in trouble and your team requires your services, I think then we should talk about the how do you prioritize your services for the
I've got a very, very funny question for you. We were observed, because we're a pace-obsessed nation, let's be honest. We were seeing his pace drop, and he's somewhere in the 130 to 135 category. And people are all over the place on social media selling the argument that Amir is bowling quicker than Shaheen. But what if the PSL starts, Lahore Qalandars, first over, and he touches 140 again? What then?
Then you should understand the power of money. Then you should understand the power of franchise cricket. Nowadays, how they're putting pressure on even the cricket boards, not only in Pakistan, but the rest of the world. First thing. Secondly, this is a genuine question. If Shaheen Shah Afridi is bowling with 130, 135 in the national side in international cricket, how could he bowl 140, 145 in franchise cricket? Two things. As one, I said that the power of money. The second thing, the difference between the international cricket and the franchise cricket. The pressure of international cricket and then the franchise cricket. I think Shaheen Shah Afridi should think about himself. Either he'll go and he'll only play the T20 and ODIs and is not fit for Test cricket. And the question, which is the workload management, we have taken a couple of names like Jasprit Bumrah or Trent Bolt, or the bowlers like even Tim Southee. I think Jasprit Bumrah is an extraordinary talent, and you cannot find bowlers like him. Hardly we could see 3-4 bowlers in the world: Mitchell Starc, Pat Cummins, and then Josh Hazlewood even includes in that list. So I think the individual effort is really, really important. But that if we talk about the Pakistani cricketers, they're just concentrating that how they will get easily the money, how comes easy.
But Sabir, the funny thing is that once you're a bowler, accountability is certainly there. But in our country, if you become the skipper, then I think double the amount of accountability, because all eyes are on you. A batter fails at number one, the captain's got to be responsible. Fielder's not taking a catch, the player's got to be the responsible. Rain washes out the World Cup, the captain's got to be responsible. So, you have to be very, and that's why I worry for Shaheen Shah Afridi.
Look, Ahmed, we basically experts are sometimes ruthless. For example, we always say that Babar Azam, Mohammad Rizwan, must not be playing the bilateral series against the minnows. Like Netherlands, Zimbabwe, West Indies, for example, Bangladesh as well. But again, we basically also do not appreciate the workload management as well. The important things for every player basically to play important matches, important series like bigger teams. The series against Australia was very important for Pakistan, especially for Shaheen Shah Afridi, to basically to prove his fitness, to prove his worth, because he's not a baby anymore. He's a basically senior bowler. You are a captain of your national side. You should have played third test match. Another thing, you have to have a patience. You have to basically play for your country first. I have seen, little bit, a couple of young players like under 19 players, like the way basically they were bowling against Bangladesh, against New Zealand, against Ireland, against Afghanistan as well. They were basically eager to play, to perform well, to win the matches for their country. So this shows the patience. I still remember Jeff lost in 2007 World Cup, when basically we lost, in the final. He was literally was crying. Bob Woolmer was another example. So if your foreign coaches are very attached to your cricket sports as well, they are very sincere to their duty, I would say. Then why not the other Pakistani players?
But Sabir, at 23 years of age, what kind of workload management do you need? That you don't play the third test match, you play the 5-match series against New Zealand, that is haywire as well. Then this was the right time when you should have said that I'm going to take rest because I have to play the PSL. Then there is a T20 World Cup coming. That's what I'll do because I'm the skipper of a PSL side. That's why I will play. But you straight away went on to the ILT20. What kind of experience are you going to get there that's going to help you in the World Cup?
Which kind of experience, which kind of message you are sending to the youngsters? How you will groom the youngsters from Lahore Qalandars? At the age of 23 years, you are basically complaining like Mohammad Amr used to complain as far as the workload management, fitness is concerned. So simply you are basically allowed to say that you basically do not want to play the longer format. You basically want money. That is the reason you basically you will play 4 to 5 leagues in a year. Then where is the workload management? When you are asked to play another test match or a 3 test match series, then you have a problem as far as the fitness is concerned, workload management, traveling fatigues as well. So these are basically useless comments, I would say. But I have a huge respect for every cricketer of Pakistan, obviously. But as a cricketing fan, as a cricketing expert, I feel sorry for the youngsters. At the age of 23, 25, this is the best age. Like Wasim Akram, couple of great Pakistani great fast bowlers, they used to say that the more you basically bowl, in the longer format, you will learn something. You cannot learn something in bowling 4 overs in T20 format. You have to play longer format.
But at the same time, I'm happy that the PCB is serious enough to bench and give rest to a 22-year-old Mohammad Haris because we're playing a World Cup in Mars or space, I think. So I like the concept of workload management over there, but over here, things tend to change. So I think there is something that really needs to be discussed, because Ali Mehdi, nowhere in the entire, if somebody wanted to give me a pure case of workload management, I would say Jimmy Anderson. You can recognize that he's picked one format and he's only focusing on that. Otherwise, and he doesn't play any league. We haven't seen him playing any league. So that is workload management, Ali Mehdi, isn't it?
Look, you know, the thing when you talk about, I think you hit the nail on its head. When you talk about James Anderson over here, this is one guy since 2015, you know, since England actually got knocked out at an early stage from the group stage of the ICC Cricket World Cup in Australia in 2015. He decided that, you know what, I'm going to only focus on the red ball format, and it's done him wonders. What it's done is extended his life in cricket by a good 5 years. I mean, you talk about players like Stuart Broad, they're long gone, you know. So many other players are long gone. He's playing with players, you know, who were born after he made his debut. You talk about Sohaib Bashir and then also Rehan Ahmed. They were born after he actually came. So he's actually the role model over here. And, you know, when we talk about workload management, Ahmed, you know, there's one thing which I hope, which I am completely sure that you will agree with me and my fellow colleagues will over here, is that the PCB, as soon as they come, they have to clamp down and they have to be very serious about these leagues. You know, these leagues are really getting out of hand, because the problem with these leagues is that the players, they're preferring, and let's be honest over here, they're preferring these leagues over playing for your country, you know, playing for international cricket for your country. Look, over the next few years, you're not only talking about test cricket, you know, there's going to be ICC events every year. You have about 7 to 8 test matches you have to play, and then obviously 50 over
right.
tournaments.
A short break, Ali Mehdi, but stay tuned. We'll be right back. Right, of course, we can discuss the PCB matters all day round, but tomorrow, hopefully the dust settles and we see some positivity coming out of the administrative affairs of the PCB as well. Now we move on to under-19 cricket, where Pakistan has qualified for the semi-finals. Everybody's appreciating the team, and we all should, because the youngsters really deserve credit, but they really put us in a nervous spot. I think if you're getting all out on 155, 56 runs, you got to look back, because if you're playing against Australia or South Africa or India, they won't let you win that easily, because it was Bangladesh and they couldn't hold on to their nerves. It was just one edge away from losing that streak as well. So it's very important that these youngsters not only celebrate going into the semi-finals, but go back to the drawing board and think that 115 modern day cricket is not going to be enough. But rest the case, I think Saad has been a brilliant skipper. Team management's doing a fantastic job, and everybody deserves a lot of credit. Asif, how would you rate this under-19 team and their journey in the World Cup so far?
Congratulations, first of all, to Pakistan under-19 team. They played well, they fought well, and they fielded well. That was a really amazing thing for me. They have taken very good catches, especially in the slip position, and then in the point position, they have taken some brilliant catches, one thing. Secondly, remember the name, Ubaid Shah. Once again, he bowled really nicely. The good thing is that he's only pitching on the good length area and trying to hit the hard area, and it is really working for him. In the end, I must say that the way you said that the partnerships really matters, you know, all the time. And that was missing in Pakistan versus Bangladesh game. And Pakistani batters, they're struggling. Shamil Hussain, yes, you're looking good. Shazib is also okay. But the way they were playing in the game against Bangladesh, they were a bit nervous. 155, you rightly said that. If you are playing against Australia or team like England, it won't be easy for you to, you know, defend these kind of small and tiny targets, especially in ODI.
Asif, the way I see it, we're looking for future heroes, and for me it becomes very difficult. I can only pick a couple of these players, especially that you mentioned the case of Shamil. There is so much investment in him. I've seen the hard work being put by his father, of course, by his coaches, by his team, everything. And the guy is a fantastic cricketer. I've played against him, so I know. But I don't know where that mental block is coming. Either somebody has told him that you just have to go after every ball. You score good 30, 40 runs off 10, 15 deliveries, and that's the way forward. he does not realize that he is built to construct an innings, and that's where he's missing out. I'm very disappointed.
Well, of course, when you knew him since his childhood, of course, the things and the question will definitely raise that why he is not concentrating on his temperament. That's the question from your side. But yesterday, I think that was a very good delivery. He went to left that and came in. You must give credit to the bowler as well. But rest, I must say that the batters like Shamil, you should concentrate on your technique. He's technically so good. We have watched him in under 19. I watched him when he was playing under 13, and he scored a century in under 13. And then Pakistan Junior League, and he went to the Bangladesh for the bilateral series as well. Looks okay, looks confident, but here comes the role of coaches. Just tell him that you'd have to play your natural game. Don't try to hit and smash every ball. And rest, he's doing okay. The role of the coaches should be really crucial for me.
Absolutely. Sabir, how do you see that journey towards the semi-finals now against Australia?
It's fantastic. I mean, obviously every youngster basically performed exceptionally well, especially Ubaid Shah. And today is the birthday of Ubaid Shah. Happy birthday, Ubaid Shah. Today is the 5th February. He basically was born on 5th February 2006. So happy birthday to you, boy, who basically bowled tremendously well against Bangladesh, against Afghanistan as well. So he could be the great a prospect for Pakistan. I mean, not to forget the captaincy of Pakistan Under-19 captain Saad Beg. He basically rotated his bowlers really well. Not to forget the role of Mohammad Zishan as well. And another youngster basically bowled exceptionally well. And hats off to their youngsters who basically picked up some wonderful catches. I mean, at the slip as well, at the point as well. So yes, the openers basically needs to perform really well, because against the bigger teams like Australia, India, South Africa as well, they have a mighty bowling lineup, especially their fast bowlers as well. And on these kind of South African tracks, you need to basically bat really well. And obviously the middle orders, not to forget the role of Arafat Minas. I mean, he's the youngster, the left arm spinner as well. He basically contributed the runs. I mean, and because of his contribution, Pakistan managed to 155. Otherwise, they could have allowed 120, 25. So I mean, hats off to them, and congratulations to them. Obviously, after so many years, I mean, who knows? Sarfaraz Ahmed basically from Karachi won the Under-19 World Cup, and this guy, the Under-19 captain, is also from Karachi. So it will be interesting to see how Pakistani, will be playing against the mighty Australians. I mean, good luck to them.
Right, absolutely. Ali Mehdi, the performance has been brilliant, but do highlight for us and our viewers the challenge ahead of playing Australia in the semi-finals.
Look, when it comes to Australia, the mighty Australians have been brilliant, this whole tournament. They haven't lost a single game. There was a no-result game. But other than that, the thing with the Australians is that they're really very fired up for this tournament. They haven't won this trophy for many, many years. So right now, it's been India who's won, Bangladesh won it in 2020, and before that, West Indies won it in 2016. So this time, the Australians are very fired up. They're doing very well. And the most important thing is their batting is clicking too, their bowling and their fielding is good. So Pakistan have a huge challenge over here, and if they really want to, you could say that they will go into this match as underdogs, because let's be honest, the Australians have been brilliant, throughout, and they're very, you could say they're very well oiled too. At the same time, they're playing good cricket. But the thing with the Pakistanis is they have that unpredictable factor, like the senior team over here. They've been bowling well, but I have to say that when it comes to fitness and fielding, our boys have been brilliant in the field, taking amazing catches, amazing at point, even at the boundary fielding has been brilliant too. That has been the shining light. But if Pakistan want to win this match against Australia, Ahmed, it comes down to one thing: how they're going to bat against the Australian paces, because they are playing the next 2-3 matches are being played at Benoni Stadium in South Africa, and Benoni is known for pace and bounce over there. You bowl at the right areas too, then that is exactly the reason why Ubaid Shah was brilliant. He was bowling in those right areas. He got about 3 nicks. So if Pakistan want to play well, the likes of Shamil, like you mentioned, Shazib, have to perform, because if our batting clicks, we can beat the mighty Aussies.
Absolutely, and I think courtesy that we are bowling first, because whenever we're batting first, we tend to struggle across formats, across tiers of senior team and junior team as well. That being said, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. That wraps up Sports Extra. From me and my entire team, it's goodbye for now.